You're not showering?
No, I'm good.
This is not France, Farley. Maybe you don't mind smelling like a nutsack all day, but I gotta be in the car with you.
Welcome to Black Irish Podcast. Hey there, and welcome to an all-new episode of Black Irish Podcast with myself, Brendan McCorkle, and Mike, I'm coming, Crawford.
That sounded too weird.
Yeah,
that
I figured you might like it.
That sounded too weird. But yeah, man, that's what you shall be touching down shortly.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. By the time this is out in the world, I'll be in the air somewhere. Over the rainbow.
Hopefully there is a rainbow. No,
fly.
hopefully there's not a rainbow. Because then that means there's rain. And we don't want to travel in the rain. Well, at least I don't like flying in the rain.
I don't know. I don't care. Defying gravity with other people that don't know what they're doing too. We're not supposed to be doing it.
Technically speaking, you're not defying gravity because with all the fire and jets in the plane, it's
sure. Obviously, physics.
Scientifically
Scientifically, you can defy gravity with, but the laws of gravity,
right
you have to actively fight them in order to ascend into the air in
and
metal with meat
ascension.
inside.
And maintain ascension for the whole ride. Because at any point, if that ratio, that scientific number is altered, your ass is
Exactly.
going down.
Then the law wins once again. It's not against the law, by the way, to cruise around neighborhoods, but if I catch you doing it around mine, I'm going to freak you the fuck out. And that's what I do. So lately, I've been getting home late because of comedy and stuff a few nights a week. So literally last night, I passed the drug deal moving van. They're always, it's nighttime, so that's when they do their clean out and they're, all that kind of stuff from 11 to 4 a.m., 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. But last night I got home actually kind of early for me, 11:30-ish, and I was pulling to my neighborhood, and then there's a car that does it's weird. That instantly when you're I don't know about this. And so, windows are kind of half rolled down, kind of cruising, and then, pulls over to let me pass him. But here's the thing. It was 20 feet before a stop sign. So I'm okay. And then I pull up to the stop sign. They take, an extra long pause to stop because I want to rear view, see what this motherfucker's doing. And then they start to pull up they're going to let me go and then get behind me. So I'm right at the point where there's a little, a tiny block right around. So I go, instead of going straight, I go right. Because I know how to follow people in the hood. And I know how to freak people out in the hood.
You don't live in the hood, though,
I understand. It's a neighborhood. Hood is short for neighborhood. There are different kinds, okay? I used to live in a ghetto type of neighborhood. Now I live in a regular type of neighborhood where ghetto people infiltrate. I know how to deal with them because I used to do it a lot. So I bust a right at the stop sign because I know this slow motherfucker's going straight, casing houses. Meanwhile, I know that my house is one of the ones that he's going to pass in the stop sign. So I burn around the block, 3 left turns, and I meet him right when he gets through the one portion of the block, and we meet at the next stop sign. So we're perpendicular to each other. I let this dude go. I sit for 5 seconds, flash hit my lights. You are going before I'm going. Then he cruises up about 20 feet, pulls over to the side. I pass him, turn left up a street like I'm going to where I'm going. I just got lost for a second. Turn around, make sure he's creeping up. Right as I see the headlights coming up through the street, that's when I pull up to the street and perpendicular him again. And meanwhile, there's no stop sign on his street, but he has now stopped looking at me. And I make sure he knows me. He sees my face. He sees my car. If you fuck with me, I have seen you. Get out of my neighborhood. Then he gets up to the light, and I just leave my car kind of like nose out with the headlights on until the light comes, and I watch where this guy goes. He goes up, turns left, out of the neighborhood, out of sight. I'm like, okay, now I'll go home, because I sure shit don't want this fool following me home, but just in case he sees where I live, just know avoid that fucking house, because I got all your details, brother.
Bro.
I'm not looking for trouble, but I can smell it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, except for you might be smelling like trouble you don't want.
I don't. Well, if I get the trouble and keep it away from my family, I'm totally fine with that, because I avoided my house, and I was tagging this dude around the block, not by my house. So if something went down, it would have been away from the house, and if I'm the casualty that get this motherfucker gone, we'll see how that works out for both of us.
I guess.
And I had a vehicle. It was not like I was getting out of the car.
No, I feel you, man. That shit just like, just call the cops. That's what they're here for, Brendan. Like,
to follow people around? No. They pick people they want to follow and follow them.
They'll pull up if they're really what you think. They'll pull them over, and if they got shit that they need to bring into.
But they don't, because here's the other thing. Here's the part that I left out because I didn't think it was going to be relevant. This is a shitty little car, shitty little sedan, 20 years old. 15 to 20 years old. It's the nobody gives a shit car. Okay? Now, what they did do when a Mercedes G-Wagon was rolling around was they flashed their lights at him a couple of times, like when they were passing houses. That means they're casing houses together. I'm letting them know in my neighborhood, I'm watching you. That's it. That's it. So if shit goes down, I know where to look. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not the smartest thing, but
I should have just gave that information to the cops.
They don't do anything with it.
Well, then that's bullshit.
I mean, I straight up told a cop buddy of mine, like, hey, I figured nothing's going to happen, but what about the drug dealers on the corner? And they're like, I don't know. What about them? I'm like, okay.
I mean, drugs are legal.
Not these kind.
Depends on where you're at.
And by the way, like, my neighborhood's been raided and people breaking it, smash and grabs, all this kind of stuff. So it's like, it's on the police's radar and they're still not doing anything about it. So let them know you can see them. All you got to do is let them know you can see them. And then they're like, oh, should we just drive one block over? Yeah. Do that, guys. Just not where I am. Sorry. Speaking of which, did you see my man Afro Man got raided by the cops?
Nah, what did he get raided by the cops for?
I don't know, but I just keep seeing videos of him posting, like, cops stole some money, raided my stuff, didn't find anything, like, trashed all his gear, like, and he's like, they wouldn't help me put it back. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I've had people do that to my stuff, too.
They definitely ain't going to help you put it back, Afro Man. So
no.
Just understand that.
Definitely
They
not,
gonna
but I was like,
throw it around,
oh.
They're going to throw that shit around. They don't give a fuck. They definitely don't give a fuck. When I first read this, I was like, protect your hood. I definitely would thought you like were talking about people that aren't circumcised. What weird shit is he on today?
All right, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about uncircumcised wieners?
Oh yeah, that's on people who don't want to be circumcised. I don't have.
Yeah, but it's not even a person thing; it's a parent thing.
Nah, because you can go. I mean, yourself when you're.
Yeah, but who does that, man?
It's gonna be probably a bit painful, but
yeah,
you get that take. I don't even want to think about it.
I don't either, man. I'm not happy with the doctor that did my low guys. He was like trying to. So first one, older boy went fine. We had them both circumcised. First one was fine. Second one, the little guy, the doctor, like, hindsight, man, hindsight. I should have just said we need a different doctor, because this dude came in and they do this thing where they explain to you the procedure and everybody has their own opinion on which way you should go, whether you should do it or not do it. And this particular doctor was like, yeah, you definitely shouldn't do it. And we're like, okay, well, our older son we've already been through this. We know that we want it. And he's like, well,
your opinion.
And he's like refuting us a couple of times, walks out of the room and then comes back and is like, I just want to double check. Like, are you sure you want to go through this? And then he didn't do a great job. I'm like, fuck you, dude. That's my kid. Like, oh, but you can't tell till later. I'm like, I should have just been like, you know what? Can we get somebody else? Or like, can we do this tomorrow? Like, I just had a bad feeling about the dude, and as a dad, I'm fucking pissing myself for not like stepping in and just being like, hey, this doesn't feel right. Can we not? Because here's the other thing with circumcisions, you used to go with them, and you still have the option sometimes, but I think in this hospital they didn't give you the option. It's like, hey, your baby has a tag on him, so you don't go in the room anymore. So I don't know. I just feel like they mistreated my baby, and that makes me sad.
Man, it really made me very sad. I don't know.
Yeah, so just don't be a dick. Basically, that's the moral of the story. Don't be a dick. I got some examples of those just in case you were curious of the week.
Don't be a dick.
So there's a new trend going around, Mike. Have you seen this on the roads with these
What's the
wonderful
trend?
drivers? It's when somebody makes either a right or left turn. It takes them about 200 yards to figure out which lane they're going to go to, but they tend to block like like they turn and don't hit the lane correctly, and they're just kind of like floating in no man's land. Does this happen around you a lot? But your area, it's like, you're way more metropolis-y, where it's just like, hey man, if you get out of line, you're getting whacked.
No, but someone did that the other day, and I was in a third lane going straight, and I almost hit my fucking car.
Dude, what? How can people not hit? Like, lanes are 12 feet wide, and your car's usually 8. How can you keep missing that?
I don't know, man. People just feel like they can do what they want on the road, bro.
Most people are looking at their phones and shit still.
Phones are a very important part of your life. I'm not gonna laugh because
Not while you're driving.
I know I need to be better.
I know. I do too, because I'm very much against it, and so I can't. If I gotta practice what I preach, So it's like,
Yeah, me too.
I just keep it in my pocket, and it's like if it vibrates or something, and that's the other thing, I put it on vibrate, so half the time I can't feel it. But if it's like constantly vibrating, that's a call, and then I'll check and see who it is, like if it's an emergency. But I try not to text or anything, or if I have to, I do it as stoplight. But or feel like I have to, because you never have to do anything like that. It's just the anxiety and pressure of not getting to something.
Yeah, nah. I use mine for music, so it's always right there. So when I see a text, it's like, oh, do we want to answer that?
Yeah, it's very tempting, especially because you're in a car. You're like, what else do I have to do right now? It's like, oh, drive, actually. That's the thing. That's what you're doing.
Pay attention, my guy.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Because, by the way, don't you pause a video game before you text somebody back? Next time you're in the middle of a Madden game, go ahead and answer the text and don't do the play. See how much you freak the fuck out. But you're going to be on the road with people's lives and be like, nah. This is more important.
I do everything when I'm playing Madden. I smoke, I play text. And Madden's not that fucking important.
I know, but for most people, they'll get the reference. Okay, let me ask you this about, is this a dick move? Or is it just a weirdo thing? I'm in the gym the other day, and there's an entire row of lockers. So there's like a bench in between 2 sets of lockers. There's 3 of these sets, okay? I'm in the middle one. There's 1 row of lockers on one side. The other side has a few lockers taken. This side has none. They're all empty. I take the furthest one down on the top, because that's what I like to do. It's easy to find, easy to get to. I'm tall. Dude comes in when I'm about halfway done changing. His back's to me most of the time, but he picks the locker directly next to mine. Like, I don't know if it's his favorite number or something, but even if it is,
It could be, or he could be a fan of you.
he had his back to me the whole time.
He might know you from past experiences and is still a fan.
Well, I don't want to know how he knows me then.
I mean, he might have seen you at the gym another time.
Yeah, but then to not say anything and to just, I don't know. It was super weird. I
Or he
thought
might
that
watch our show and don't know how to tell you that he knows you from.
if he watches our show, he should know that I'm the most approachable person in the world.
Yeah, but he might also think you're famous now.
Well, I am to my children. Actually, no, not even. But that's okay. I don't care about being famous. I just want to be good at what I do.
Yeah, but he might think you're like big time. He's like, yo, you can't walk up to big time people like that and just like,
Big time. Big time Brendan
he's
coming
hoping-
at you, motherfuckers.
He's hoping that by putting the locker next to yours, you speak to him.
Maybe he's
Hey,
trying
hey,
to get
man.
some of my gym juju and be like, I see this dude out there grinding. Let me get some of that energy. Or he was trying to look at my locker code, which was probably more accurate. I ended up just getting a key lock because another one of my locks, again, a different lock, same thing. Like, I think somebody was going in there and like trying to like jam or tweak stuff.
Jimmy?
So I was just like, you know what? I'm just getting a big old master lock. Like, not even the ones that's like click and turn. Like, the bottom completely comes off. Like, just the club.
Hey, I remember in high school, I looked over somebody's shoulder and got their code. To hell with trying to jam it. Just learn your code and fucking steal your shit.
Oh, what we used to do was we used to wait until, because we knew where the bolt cutters were. So we used to wait until everybody left the locker room. We would just kind of hide in the showers for like 10 minutes, not take a shower, and then run out and get the bolt cutters. And anybody we didn't like, we would fucking steal their shit.
How messed up does you think somebody's head is when they come back to their locker after class of gym and they're $600 and $700 missing out their pocket, but their locker's back locked.
Who did you go to school with that had $600 or $700?
I don't know, some kid.
Yeah, drug dealers.
some kid, but hey, he was in the locker room next to the wrong person that day, buddy.
Yep. Well, that's genius though about the code, because then you can't. It's like, what? Did I misplace it? Like that. There's that 1% in your brain that's like, maybe it was me.
Hey, yo, in his mind, he was thinking, maybe I lost it somewhere else. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, we would just ruin people's stuff. Like, we would like throw their backpacks and clothes in the shower and turn on the showers and stuff like that. But it was only people we didn't like, and it was only because there's no cameras in the locker room, so you can't do that. So couldn't get caught.
That's why I refuse to steal now, because I used to be a thief.
A legitimate thief.
Shit.
Yeah.
Legitimate thief.
See, that's
Stole so
fun.
much shit.
That's fun. Dude, all right, another dick move. I don't even care if you're a 50-year-old Mexican lady like this lady was. If you have more than one transaction and you go to the ATM while the bank is open, you're a dick. Go inside. She did 5 transactions while the other ATM was broken with 4 people standing behind her. That's a dick move.
How do you know she did 5 transactions?
Because
maybe
she kept pushing the button for checking, savings. There were different accounts on her thing, and what she did was she pulled out a bunch of cash from one account, and then she picked an account and she would put in a couple $100, and then she'd pick another one, a couple $100. She could have done that at the teller.
She did the deposit.
She could have done a transfer, not a withdrawal/deposit. Like, utilize the people who know how to do this.
Yo,
Dumb old lady.
Shout out to her for being so disrespectful to y'all's time.
You know, I honestly think that a little bit of it was like just a part of her routine. Like, this is how I've always done it. But come on, man. Come
There had to
on.
be a little bit that looked over her shoulder
And just been like, I do not care. I need this. No, she was one of those people that, I don't know if she was head down doing it like I'm just in my own little world, or I'm head down doing it like, please don't like when you make a mistake in the car and you're just like, I'm just not gonna look at that person. The problem is there's 4 of us standing there staring at her like it was almost like we're looking at each other like, okay, are we gonna throw a party? Like, how many more? Do we start taking bets on how much longer we're gonna stand here? But luckily nobody in the line was like, hey, come on. Like, nobody's being a dick about it. We were just kind of looking at each other like, is she serious right now? Like, does she not see 4?
Dick about it, but I would have been a dick about it. If you understand what I'm saying, you know?
I mean, I think it was one of those things where she definitely, by the time she was done, she's like, ooh, okay. Maybe that was a little
would have said
egregious.
something, not directly to her, just loud enough so she could hear, like, bro, what the hell is going on?
Well, here's the other problem. I would have said something, but she had a lot of money in her hand, and that, I don't think that's, like, I didn't want to freak her out. You know, like she's got a lot of cash in her hand. I don't know. I just felt weird about that. But I was just kind of like, let me just talk shit about this lady later. So that's okay. But I was just, yeah, that's a dick move. Anybody else don't do that. Oh, here's another thing. I don't even care what kind of shit I get for this. If you have government funding to purchase your groceries, know what you qualify for. Don't act like you don't know at the register and take up everybody's time. Like they don't have a manual coupon for sad poor people. Like, oh, sorry, here.
Well, those are two different things. Because you're talking about like WIC or you talking about like food stamps? Because food stamps ain't no list. You can go buy anything.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Yeah, okay. There's a difference because WIC. First of all,
Yes.
First of
That's
all,
what I said.
there's two
What are you
different
talking
things.
about? 'Cause there is a
WIC.
difference.
Okay, WIC.
I know there are two different things.
I know, but a lot of people don't, and we're on a podcast here, buddy. So WIC.
Well,
By
that's
the
why I'm
way,
asking.
the people in front of me had WIC coupons.
Yes. Okay.
Trying to
They
buy
had that
fucking
WIC.
Fanta. Sorry, Fanta is not on the women, infant, and children coupon list. Okay, you know what is on that list? Because I grew up on WIC and food stamps.
Milk.
Intermittently,
And
it's
eggs.
milk, eggs, and baby formula. That's what you get, and bread. That's what you get with WIC. Okay? Now, with food stamps, before it turned into EBT that you could go to 7-Eleven with, which, by the way, the hustle move in the hood is, how much is your EBT card? $50? I'll give you $30 in cash. Here we go. That's how you do it.
The numbers you playing with right there ain't nowhere near the numbers they getting these days. They handing out thousands of dollars in EBT food stamp money, bro.
No, I know, but I'm saying that was the play in the hood, was you would get an EBT card. But this was recent.
That's still the play in the hood, my
Yes.
friend. I got half on what you need. What, you gonna let me spend 200 of your food stamps for this $100 in cash? There you go, buddy.
Yeah, usually it
50 cents
was,
on the dollar.
I don't know, maybe I grew up in a more gracious hood than you, or not even grew up, but it was around here where I am now, but it was usually 60%. Like, you make them feel like they're getting a deal.
50 cents on the dollar, buddy.
50 cents on the dollar. That's pretty good, though. But listen, when I grew up, it was food stamps. Like, we went off of food stamps, and that was only certain things qualified. Like, it was like cereal, chicken, grains, pasta, milk, again, you know, like juice, things of that nature, like healthy things, like other things. You couldn't buy soda and shit with food stamps.
Oh, you could when I grew up. You just couldn't buy anything hot. You couldn't buy hot food. Now you could put it. Now they got, because they mix it all on the same card. Your ass can buy anything because they put your welfare check and your food stamp on the same EBT card.
Yeah, see, that's the
when you-
EBT
so
thing.
when you go to
Ours
the
came
store,
in a little
yes.
booklet like McDonald's dollars. It was like, ooh, this one's good for 1 gallon of milk. This one's good for this. This, you know, it was like they chose for you.
We came up on the booklets, but now, man, you can walk past the bodega store and then they got a sign on the say, we take EBT.
Jack in the Box takes EBT.
That's the like, so shit. They can use EBT on Instacart, bro. Actually, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Because I still would buy some EBT food stamps if you got them to sell. So if you're watching this and you're in the Virginia area and you need to sell some food stamps, hit me on my inbox, man. Black Irish 213. You know what I'm saying, on
It's
Instagram.
where is it? There it is. Wait,
I'll
this
definitely,
way.
you know, somewhere over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll definitely cop those from you. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you need. What we talking, 50, 60%. We can figure it out. 55 to meet in the middle.
yeah. I mean, if it's a compromise here, if we're going to meet in the middle of us, if we're meeting right. God, I got to get this camera thing organized. Here, meet in the middle.
There you go. There you
One of these days we'll have 2 separate cameras and we'll go back and forth, but until I get this studio figured out, we'll do what we've got to do. Speaking of which, let's move on to sports. The Knicks did something they haven't done in a very long time. RJ Barrett got a contract extension. This is the first time in 23 years that the New York Knicks have signed their first round pick to a contract extension. The last time they did that was in 1999. What does that say about the Knicks, or what does that say about RJ Barrett?
Say it's about the Knicks that they just don't draft well.
Or they don't value their draft picks?
Well, if they were good, they would sign them. Most of them haven't panned out in the last 23 years.
It's also because they're terrible at picking.
NBA draft picks, if it's not a top 5 pick, you're just throwing a fucking noodle at the wall hoping it sticks. Like most good NBA players are completely out of nowhere or top 5 draft picks. Everybody else is just average.
Yeah, you either get a Kevin Durant or a James Harden out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you get fucking Bradley Beal or randomly end up with Gilbert Arenas in the second round. You know, like it's a crapshoot.
Oh, Gilly. But so this RJ Barrett thing throws a wrench in the Donovan Mitchell trade that the Knicks were trying to pull off.
They were never really trying to pull the trade off.
You don't think so?
Hell no.
Okay. I'm not too into it, so you let me know what's going on here.
Because it never actually made sense, technically speaking, if you weren't going to include RJ Barrett, which they always were saying, like we weren't trying to include RJ Barrett. So if you weren't including RJ Barrett, you just signed somebody to play point guard, and you were trying to bring in Donovan Mitchell, like that doesn't add up. Like where were these pieces about to fit? Were you going to pay Brunson $120 million to make him your sixth man? Like, what? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And so are you paying him to come in to not be on? He's got to be on the ball. Like we saw what he's good at. He's good at being an on-the-ball pick-and-roll point guard. So what the hell are you doing with Donovan? Because that's literally the only place he succeeds is with the ball in his hand running pick and roll.
I think it's just one of those things where Utah didn't have any other options. So they're like, let's.
Well, Utah wants to get rid of him because they're tired of his shit.
Well, between that and the Gobert thing, it's like, we're starting from scratch anyway here. Let's dump all this crap. But nobody wants to take Donovan Mitchell is the point.
Not for the price they're asking, because they're asking for superstar price, and he's technically a really good player, but I don't think he's superstar. I don't think Donovan can carry a team and help put fannies in the seats.
I think he's a B+ player, to be honest.
He's a good Robin to a Batman on a contending team. He's not a Batman on a championship or a contending team.
Let me ask you this. Since we're always leaving Giannis on an island over here, would Donovan Mitchell and Giannis make sense to you?
Donovan Mitchell and Giannis would make sense to me, but I don't think he's better than Chris Middleton, and that's what you would have to give him to get him. I don't think he's better than Chris Middleton. Everyone's forgetting about Chris Middleton like he's some scrub because he was hurt last year. That's why Milwaukee lost. Chris Middleton wins, they go back. If Chris Middleton stays healthy, I believe they go back to back. If they were able somehow to pull out that Game 7 that they lost, I believe he comes back and they go back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe Milwaukee is fine. They lost a player. I mean, he just was hurt. The injury is a part of him.
Man, you got all the faith in the world in that. Giannis
is the best player in the world.
I know, but can he continue to do it by himself is the question.
He's only getting better. Did you see him shooting threes this year after the year before winning the championship?
Oh, yeah. This year. Yes.
Yeah. And so this year, following winning the championship, he added a 3 to his game.
Added a 3. He's working on that.
He added it good enough that if they had a sufficient floor space, a guy who came in from Middleton didn't get any respect. Yeah. And Drew Holiday moves to the second best scorer on the team, and he's not a legit number 2 scorer. Like he's a
ball handler.
Yeah, he's a very good all-around basketball player, but as far as just being a flat-out number 2 scorer, someone you can go to get a bucket, that's not who Drew Holiday is. He's a really good all-around basketball player.
He's the guy that you want in the playoffs to take the shot when the other guys are locked down. Like as your third option, he's one of the best third options you could have. You know, he's like the new Derek Fisher. You know what I mean? Like you don't want him with the ball, but if he has it, you're hopeful. You know what I mean? You're like, this could go in.
You know what I'm saying? So he's there for his defense. He's a great defender. He's strong as hell, but he ain't like a number 2 scoring option. So it didn't work out for him. But I After my Bulls, I'm a Bulls fan first and foremost. But after my Bulls, Milwaukee, man. I don't know though. I really like Brooklyn. If they can get it together mentally, like on paper, that team is so loaded.
Brooklyn is a fraud.
They are, and I can't
Brooklyn's
go
a
against
fraud.
that until they show me otherwise.
You know who else is a fraud? Albert Pujols. If that's even your real name. Which it's not, by the way. Let's just start there. His real name is Jose Alberto Pujols. So, he's a liar. What kind of documents did he forge to get into the MLB? Like, was he a part of this system? You remember the Dominican Republic kid in the Little League World Series?
Any documents, man?
Come on, you remember the kid in the Little League World Series that was like 14 pitching to 10-year-olds?
Yeah, he was dominating. He ended up making the pros eventually, though.
Did he really?
Yeah, like I don't think he had a long stint. His name was like Del Monte or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up making the pros at some point. I don't think he had a long stint. But shit, all you want to do is get in the pros long enough to get a check that says millions. And with the right people around you, you can feed your family and invest some shit and take care of people for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't know. Pujols is a fraud, though. Like, he's
Pujols is one of the unfraudest persons you ever.
He's two home runs away from passing A-Rod at this point. And he's got, like, almost 300 more games than him.
Yes,
which is
he
an extra.
Wasn't on steroid.
Maybe not.
There's nothing. I don't do the maybe not. If there's
Okay.
anything linking if there's nothing.
Then,
linking
hey,
out
I'm
with
down with that.
steroids,
Innocent until proven guilty.
Always.
I'm down with that.
Man.
So that being said, he still has like basically 3 extra seasons to get the same amount of home runs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is
That's
Pujols
cool, but
better than
three of those-
A-Rod?
He really had 3 extra seasons, but like he getting credit for games, like being on the bench. Like he's doing a lot of bench riding these days. So.
He only gets credit for games that he at least had an at bat or played in.
Yeah, but he could have had a pin hit. And...
Yeah, so but here's the thing, like Pujols and A-Rod both have 22 years of service. A-Rod had 1 year suspension, 2014, but there are only a couple of years that he played less than 100 games. Like, or even 120, 140 games. He played most of his games. There are 6 seasons that Pujols played like 80, 79, just his pinch hitting stints.
You know why? Because he had a natural body that actually broke down, unlike these steroid dudes whose bodies didn't break down. His body went through the
So who's better,
rigors.
A-Rod or Pujols?
I don't consider A-Rod. Those guys I don't even consider in the better, or because they were taking steroids their entire career.
Okay, who's better,
Barry
Pujols
Bonds,
or Barry
I give him-
Bonds?
I don't know.
What?
Because
I'm not coming anymore.
There's pre-steroid stuff for Barry Bonds, but he's a fucking steroid user too. Like, he don't get no slack.
Hey, has he been indicted for this stuff?
Who?
Barry Bonds?
No, because the person who could have got him indicted stood tall.
Okay.
That's it.
Well,
Like,
innocent
that's
until
it.
proven guilty, my friend.
And they got tired of holding him, so they let him go.
Okay. So,
Literally
who's
speaking,
better?
he could still be in jail right now today
But he's not.
because they were decided to
He's
be
eating
nice.
hamburgers and hanging out with all the old timers.
Yeah.
So who's
Barry Bonds
better?
has never been proven to have. I mean, the only ones that come out and admit it are like A-Rod and those fools. So those dudes, I can't. Like you admit it.
Still are avoiding the question. Barry Bonds or Pujols?
No one's better than Barry Bonds. If
Thank
you're
you.
just technically
All right.
speaking.
All right. I'm coming back now. All right. All right. Well, let's.
What?
Okay. I'll give Pujols his due.
But let's not act like Barry Bonds didn't take steroids, just like we're not gonna act.
I mean,
like
of course he
OJ
did. He's just better at it than everybody else. Same as he was hitting.
That's the whole thing. His guy he only left it to one guy. The rest of you dummies went
Ding
randomly letting randoms poke you and keeping randoms in your business, getting packages sent to your house. Like, you doofuses.
The more people are involved, the more cracks there are in the foundation.
In the foundation, there was nothing never sent to. Everything went to that guy, and he was the only guy poking Randy and Barry.
And here's the thing, you know, Barry was giving him enough money, and he goes, "Listen, dude, right off the bat, we make this deal. You are taking the fall if this goes. I'm paying you a lot of money. This is a deal we are making in blood." And he's like, "Okay."
If this ever comes to the point, they're gonna take you. You only person that know. If you shut up, I never go down. And you better shut up.
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll be taken care of forever.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I think he only did 18 months, bro.
Yeah, he was
like,
supposed to get like
face of
10 or 12 years, and then it ended up being like a year and a half.
Well, the rule is if you refuse to testify, you're supposed to stay in jail until the trial is over. You know what I mean? And being that they never could get through the indictment, because of him, it was going to be an open indictment, and you stay in jail the whole time the indictment's open, bro. And for some reason, they dropped the indictment and let him go home. So they weren't going to ever put anything on Barry Bonds. They could have kept the indictment open for a lifetime to be an asshole to this dude who didn't want to testify. But Barry Bonds not that important. Once he retires, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
Let the baseball archivists and historians settle it and sort it out, you know.
Keep him out of the Hall of Fame, embarrass his name, do it that way.
Yeah.
We're gonna take our hands out of this crap. Even though their hands should have never been in the crap. It was never fucking big enough for no damn grand. All the shit we got going on in America, and y'all grand jury and baseball players about taking steroids. As if the people that they were going against weren't also fucking taking steroids.
However, Rafael Palmeiro, his shit in Congress was some of the funniest television I've ever seen in my life. So for that, it was worth it.
Him and Jose.
I mean, Canseco's just a moron, so you could take that for what it is. But Palmeiro came in like, and then it's like, oh, you ding dong.
But the thing about Palmeiro is that when he went up there and tried to be an asshole and stand on it, he hadn't tested positive. Like, his shit hadn't come out yet.
I know.
So he was just like, yo, I'm amazed. I'm this amazing guy. I beat your asses. So I'm going to stand up here and wave my finger in your face. And the moment you do stupid shit like that, guess what happens? They go searching. You did.
Yep.
Don't
Life
you know
is just.
They're not taking that shit laying down. Oh, now we're going to go make sure we find some shit.
Oh, no, they're all gone.
Take your wins quietly, man. Like, if you win, just take your win, go home, and enjoy the win in your personal time. Don't rub it in people's face, man, because that shit will turn around so fast.
You don't rub wins in people's faces. You rub losses in people's faces, like Joshua, Ballinger, Lippincott, Rosen. He got fired again. Mike.
As funny as it is that he keeps getting fired, do you know he makes more money than we'll probably ever see?
Maybe you, son.
Huh?
And I don't even think that's true. He is not going to make more money than... No. Because, listen, I don't care what the number is.
He's
a simple-minded fellow. He's never going to make that into anything else.
No, he's
going to live off his parents' land forever.
They're like old people or some shit.
They're hedge fundy people. Like, he's cushioned. But him personally, he has not earned enough. He's a piece of shit.
He's made at least $40 million.
Good.
And I take that back, because it's possible we could possibly see $40 million in our lifetime. So it's not an astronomical amount that he's made. But he's literally, since graduating college, he's made $40 million. And he's not been out of college in more than 7 years.
Net worth of 18 to 30 million.
Yeah, that's net worth, so that's not counting the money he spent.
I know. But he's also contract. Here we go. Patience.
His first contract is at least 25 because he first
career earnings. Just relax your taxi. He has made $18,661,992 in the NFL. And here's how. He's been on 6 different teams. He got drafted in 2018 by the Cardinals, got signed. He made $11.35 million that year. That was his big year. Then he got traded to the Dolphins to make room for Kyler Murray. he made 1.3. The second year, since he made it on the Dolphins again, because they literally had nobody and were drafting Tua, and they're like, oh, let's just keep him in case. Then he got his almost $5 million deal. So in the first 3 years, he made, let's see, 17 of his $1 million of his 18.6. And then he went up to the Bucks, to the Niners, to the Falcons, to the Browns, and just got released by the Browns, who don't have their starting quarterback for the first 11 games.
Guess what? He's made $20 million to be a fucking scrub.
A scrub.
Could you be bad at your job and make $20 million? Just tell me.
Let me tell you how bad he is. In 24 games that he's played, not started, played in, he's thrown for 2,864 yards, barely over 100 yards a game, 12 touchdowns, which is about 3/4 of a touchdown a game, and 21 interceptions, which means it's almost a guaranteed pick every time. And the last few, we're going the other way for a pick six. The point differential isn't. I didn't go that far into the stats because this is bad enough. But my favorite part about this piece of garbage, my favorite part, Mike, is what he said when he got drafted. Do you recall the cocky shit face that got drafted at number 10 after Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, which both of those, but also Josh Allen was drafted above him. And he said,
all of them. No, Josh Allen went after them. Josh Allen was like 17, I believe.
Bro, you're going to make me do more research here.
Really? I want to say Josh Allen went after. I believe. Let me look.
I'm looking. Draft position. I know this is fantastic podcasting. But let's see. 7th. He was drafted 7th.
Josh Allen went 7th. Okay.
Yeah. So Josh Rosen famously, or if not, even more famously now, was, quote, 9 mistakes were made ahead of me, and I will make sure over the next decade or so that they will know they made a mistake. You know what I think? The only people in this scenario that made a mistake, Josh, were your parents.
I disagree.
Talk about that Roe v. Wade going to waste. Ugh.
Yo.
You could have taken 4 names off the board there with this fucking high and mighty professor on Gilligan's Island.
There weren't too many left by the time, but there are a whole bunch of mistakes when you look at this shit. If you go back and look at this draft. So we can talk about that another day if you want.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody called out the 9 players in front of him saying they were a piece of shit, basically.
Yo, because Baker's a fucking mistake. Him and Sam Darnold now on the same team. What the hell?
Yeah. Battling it out. That's bad.
Stinky.
That's bad. Like the 1 and 3 picks are on the same team. Was it Darnold 3 or 4?
Yes, 3.
3 to the Jets, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Baker won to the Browns.
No one else has re-signed the deal except for Allen, Quentin Nelson, and Denzel Ward. I believe Bradley Chubb's gonna get re-signed though.
All right. You know who else got re-signed for 1 year? Jimmy. Dude, Niners got the best backup quarterback in the league.
That was the smartest thing, that it worked out in their favor. And Jimmy, as a human being, I would have never went for it. But me and Jimmy are 2 different people, so I mean,
I think Jimmy's kind of casual about football.
And I think he also thought about the fact that the injury played. I think the injury played a part. I think he thought about the fact that he probably couldn't get $7 million on the open market right now.
Yeah,
he probably couldn't.
The way that his contract is structured, it's that there's a no trade clause first and foremost, and there's a no tag. So he is a legit free agent next year.
Which all works out for him because he gets the whole year
And I
to
think
be a
that's
backup,
what. And
get the
he ended
arm
up getting
right.
a decent, like he's getting 4 or 5 million to be or 6 to be a
He getting
backup.
7.
There you
Almost
go.
7.
$7 million to maybe play 4 games this year.
He's not going to play 4 games. I believe Trey's going to stay healthy. I mean, I believe they're going to start to stink, and so there's going to be no need to pull Trey. And you might as well let him get his beat. Sorry for you Niners fans. I don't think you're going to be good this year.
I just figured 4 for like injuries, and by the way, we're gonna see the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game, like old school '90s style.
I think maybe next year. I honestly don't believe that someone who's thrown 400 passes in the last 3 years you're just going to come in the NFL and light it up. Like,
I don't think he's gonna
nothing in
light it up. I just think that we
nothing
can
in
win
my-
some close games.
I believe you can too. I don't know how many close games you get in that division with that schedule.
Yeah, but if we make the playoffs, you better watch.
If you make the
out.
playoffs, then by that time
Because
you'll be
defense is
into it.
defense, baby.
Yeah, no. If you make the playoffs by that time, you'll be worked into it, and the offense because your running game is probably going to be tremendous.
Well, here's the
He's
other
gonna
thing,
make-
but Deebo Samuel's is gonna have a lot less touches. From
Yeah, shit. That's what you want. That's what they want you to believe. You think they pay them the money to use them less?
no, because there's certain clauses in his contract about
About meeting for him to get money. They don't care about paying him. They have plenty of money.
no.
Fuck.
God damn it. With his bonuses and stuff for running, like
Yes.
they're at very low levels because they specifically said like wear and tear, we don't want you getting too beat up, so we'll lower the amount of yards, touchdowns, and all this kind of stuff. Like we'll make
Think
it.
about where his number from last year though. Like they've shown all that stuff as far as like what the numbers are. They're about where he was at last year, so it's not gonna be. It shouldn't be that drastic. Otherwise, he would fuck up people's fantasy. So don't give him the ball any less, please, because I'm drafting behind.
You always got to steal my picks. Speaking of which, it is fantasy football time. Are you excited?
I'm very excited because I want to play you like week 1, so I can bet my.
I
name
bet
back,
you're
so I
excited.
can
You
go
have
for it.
nowhere to go but up.
Exactly.
Even if you improve one spot, you can't get any worse. So, I mean, that's good news for you.
Always, man. Take the good with the bad.
Well, you're pretty bad. I'm pretty good. So, I guess that's why we make a good
That won't be
team.
the case this year.
So, what pick
You know,
are you in the draft? I don't even remember.
I don't
You're
know. I think
2.
I
You're
think I'm
number 2, and I'm number 8 out of 10.
I think I'm 2. So that's going to be either Jonathan Taylor or Justin Jefferson. Yep. That's who it'll be.
All right. Right on. That's just kind of the nice thing about being within the top 3 picks is you have 4 choices if you're 3, you have 3 or 2 choices if you're 2, and you usually have 2 choices if you're 1. So it's not really a big deal to say who you want because it's like, I'm getting one of these guys.
Yep. I refuse to take Christian McCaffrey, so there's that.
I don't trust him this year. I mean, he might be one of those good ones that falls a little bit and it's like, hey, got lucky, but I don't trust it.
Don't want no part, bro. If I was in my other league, my 2 quarterback league, I would be taking Josh Allen at 2. If somebody didn't take him at 1.
Is it a quarterback heavy points
2
league?
quarterback league, so yeah, quarterback points are the same amount as touchdowns are the same amount as everybody else's.
Yeah, so just a refresher for everybody. We have our fantasy football draft coming up this week for this trophy back here. Hey, I got damn it. I almost had it. Ah ha 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 ha. This one. And for anybody that doesn't know, our league is called You're All Fucked in the Head. And it's been going on for 13, 14 years now. We're running out of room on the trophy. And the way that our lineups are structured is different because we started out, it started out as a family league and it's like 8 to 10 players depending on who was available or going to be committed at the time. And so in order to have a competitive league with less players, we added positions. And then once we got to
no
10,
flex.
and no flex. So what we ended up doing to make it competitive even with 10 people. With 10 people, it's super competitive because what we do is you have to start 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers.
We don't have 2 quarterbacks in our league.
I've been the commissioner of this league for almost the entire time, and I've been a commissioner of a similar type league for almost 20 years. I know the structure. It's 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 kicker, 1 defense. That's your starting lineup every week, and you have 6 bench spots or 5. I don't remember off the top of my
We
head.
really start 2 quarterbacks.
Always.
Damn.
Always.
I really smoke way too much.
You do, because you also tend to pick Ben Roethlisberger in the first round of your drafts. You going to do that this year with your second pick, buddy boy?
No.
That's how good Mike is. He drafts like Big Ben in the first round of his drafts.
One year I thought Big Ben that was going to have a great year.
But the point is you don't need to draft him that high.
Brown and somebody else. 2 quarterback leagues. I thought you did. You don't. But don't worry. All the past is the past. Nothing matters but this year. That's all that matters. No one cares about the past.
The trophy does, because I need to get my name on it a couple more times. Because I'm only on it twice. There's 4 spots left. And one person has 4. One person has 3. I think 2 or 3 people have 2. And then a couple people have 1. And a couple people, like yourself, don't have any. So there's only a few spots to get on this trophy, Mike.
You aren't getting any more because you're done.
I think I might close out. Maybe 1 year I won't. Somebody will squeak me out in the championship game. But other than that, I'm going to eviscerate you people.
Brendan, that shit ain't going to
I have a clear head now. You guys are fucked.
Keep wishing on it because it ain't happening.
Keep wishing. I just proved it. I don't got to wish nothing. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And right now, that's me, brother. You got to take my title. You got to claw it from my talons.
I'm going to kick your ass this year. Don't worry.
Yeah, kiss my ass indeed. On a lighter note, what you watching, buddy? Before football. Because football we had our soft opening for college football last weekend with all the crap games. And this weekend is just football. Football.
Yes, it is. Football. Wall-to-wall football.
So,
Can't beat that.
before that starts, have you been cleaning up anything? Did you finish The Wire?
Yeah, I've been finished that, but I'm actually watching The Blacklist, man. I've been binge watching The Blacklist, trying to get this last season in, because I missed the whole season on regular TV, because I don't watch that show on regular TV. Then I finally found a way to watch it, because like all the apps that I have, none of them had the whole fucking season, bro. So yes, I'm watching. Like it was like piece of the season here on this app, piece of the season here, but now I had the whole season. So I had to go back to Fire Stick mode to my app and watch the whole season. And I'm on episode 9 of 22. Oof,
Ooh, 22. Are they like 45 minutes to an hour?
Yes.
That's a lot. I mean, it's nice that a show puts out that many episodes, because then you're not like, as long as it's good, as long as it's not saturated, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
Blacklist is fire.
how's Big Brother going for you, buddy?
It's okay, man. I don't know, man. This week is kind of weird, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. So you're falling off the Big Brother train. You're realizing
No,
that
no,
it's
not
still...
falling off the Big Brother thing. I'm
dang
talking about
it.
weird, more so of who I want to win and it not being in their favor.
Got you.
I'm never going to stop watching Big Brother. This is my
But you
lifer,
didn't. You
man.
never watched Survivor, right?
No.
See, I was a Survivor guy. I think I've said this before, but my family, we would have Survivor night on Sundays. It was a play on being poor. We would watch Survivor, and it was anything you found in the kitchen, that's your dinner. Yeah, we called it Survivor night. Make it fun.
Nah. But I did see something that I want to watch. I want to watch Tim Donahue try to explain why he was a fucking crap ass, bro.
So I did start watching Untold, Operation Flagrant Foul on Netflix regarding the basketball betting scandal with Tim Donaghy. And I'm about actually, I think I have 10 minutes left in this. It's an hour and 15 minutes. It's a good one. Honestly, the Untold series is fantastic, but sometimes If it's just something I'm not interested in, it's like, yeah, okay. It's well, same thing as any other documentary type deal. It's like if I'm not really into that thing, then you're not going to keep me, because sometimes in these Untolds, there's little lulls where they like try and do this bait and switch to try and get you to think something else, and it's like, don't try and confuse people with these documentary things. Like just lay it on them, But they do a lot of like ambiguous things in the beginning that they're gonna pay off in the end, and then a lot of it's like, oh, well, then nothing just ever happened, or they never told us the truth about this, and you're like, oh, then why did you set it up that way? Thanks a lot. So for that reason, with these Untolds, like the Manti Te'o one I was interested in, this one, gambling, I'm into. The one about the hockey team was fantastic. That was the best one. That was so good. The trash team, hockey team, minor league hockey team with like the real Tony Soprano, like that was mwah. It was so good that they led with one of those. But this it was good. It's good. It definitely shows the side of like, hey, we're not saying it outright, but all signs point to the NBA leaking the story before, signing their TV deals before this got leaked, and then leaking it first so that they couldn't say that they were involved with how they told the refs to manage the games. And it's like, okay. But honestly, like the more intriguing part to me was the system of gambling, like how it went down. Like that always intrigues me. Just because I always like to see how it's hustled.
I mean, I know technology has grown, but it's like Calvin Ridley made a bet on his team, and before the season was over, he's suspended for. How long did this show go on before they caught your dumb ass? But I'll find out tonight when I watch, or whenever I do watch, because who knows it.
It's good. It's worth a watch. I did also, speaking of basketball, I saw that Netflix just added Above the Rim. So that's on my watch list coming up in the next. I might watch that on the flight, actually.
Above the Rim.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, that's my Sharky Ducky Quack Crack right there.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I saw that back on there. I was like, okay, that's a good one. Plus, I did. So finally got into Indian matchmaking. A few episodes in.
I couldn't. I tried. I'm not gonna lie. I tried. I'm laughing like I would never. I actually tried. But the concept makes no sense. So
Did you watch the first season or the second one?
I tried to get into the very first episode.
Really?
The first episode of the first season. But like they start talking about how they have, how you matchmaking for a prearranged, like that it doesn't add up to me. So
it's basically analog Tinder.
Like, how are you going to matchmake for a prearranged? What the hell?
Well, prearranged marriage has been a thing for a long time.
So you're trying to matchmake the prearrangement. Then that's no longer a prearrangement. So
right, it's a much better system than back in the day when they didn't have a choice. At least now it's like, hey, and it's not even like a prearranged marriage necessarily. This is more matchmaking. Like, hey, my kid hasn't been able to figure it out on their own. Since we're rich, let me pay for this service, and you find the most qualified, eligible, whatever, partners for these people. And then, instead of speed dating, it's like, listen, we did all the science on this, and you guys have the best chance of succeeding. Go try that.
Yeah, that.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense to you, but the ultimatum does. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure.
The ultimatum is, there's no entertainment in that. The ultimatum is pure entertainment.
Got you.
Because I literally am waiting for someone to get punched in the face. Because they
I will say season 2 of Indian Matchmaking, I'm a little disappointed. It's overproduced.
Yeah, because they're trying to make something that it can't be. You can't have matchmaking with prearranged marriages because it's no longer prearranged. So you're literally changing the culture, my friend. Like, I'm sorry to say this, like at the technical root of it, you are changing the culture.
Yeah, I think you're tripping on twigs to get to the finish line here about this technicality. I'm just watching an entertaining show. And by the way, I want to go to an Indian wedding so bad. They look so much fun.
I could not go to an Indian wedding.
Why?
I probably could not make it through. Indian food stinks like crazy. So bad, bro. Like they use so many spices and shit. So
There are
stinky.
certain dishes that have certain odors to them that some people find enjoyable and some people don't. But that's not
Some people
all
who
Indian
don't.
cuisine.
Every Indian cuisine I've ever smelled stank.
All
Stay
right.
gay.
Fair enough. I ain't gonna
It's probably
fight you on
just-
that. I ain't got your nose.
It's probably delicious, but there's some American food that stinks too, like pig feet. That shit stinks.
Did you ever?
You know,
Do you
fuck
eat pig's feet? Did you
uh,
back in the day?
I've eaten pig feet
Yeah.
before because I ain't know no better. I would not eat a pig's foot anywhere near my face today.
Ham
And I
hocks.
know chitlins.
You get down on some ham hocks.
Ham hock. You just
chitlins.
throw that in. You just throw that in greens. You don't really eat ham hock. You just more so use it for seasoning and flavor. But I ain't eating like no plain ham hocks. Hell no, none of that.
Yeah,
country
ham
ass
hock. You
shit.
use like the little shaver thing and just grate some
Yeah.
shit.
I ain't eating none of that country ass shit. Bro. No ham hocks, no chitlins, no pig.
Wait, would you
feet,
eat
no pig
octopus?
ears. What the hell? No.
Oh gosh, I didn't think it was gonna be that dramatic. Really?
Octopus. No,
What about
none of
octopussy? An 8-sided vagina.
that. No, I'll pass on that too.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh man, I think you might slip into another dimension.
What are you gonna do with an 8-sided vagina, bro?
8 different things at the same time. Hey, all right, speaking of
Overwork
what you're
yourself.
watching, we'll burn through these. I sent you Rap Shit, the new Issa Rae thing on HBO Max. Did you check that out at all?
Not yet, but I don't want to hit Issa Rae rap. She sucked on herself. She's probably worse on rap shit. But go ahead.
She's not. She just produces the show. She's not the actor.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. I just said that.
Yeah.
I know she tried to rap on her other show. and
Yeah,
she
no.
couldn't.
I've been burned out on her stuff for a while there. I'm just kind of like, okay, this is too much. It's like all the shit that 50 Cent produces on Stars. It's like, all right, man, I'm like on overload right now, dude. Back up. Just relax a little bit. But Issa Rae's got HBO on lockdown, so it's like, all right, relax a little bit. But I think I'm 2 episodes in, and
Black Lives Matter movement will be over. Give it about 2 more years.
No,
It'll go back to
come
it'll go back to
on,
regular
dude.
scheduled program.
I mean, look at feminism. They made strides over the past. Just kidding. Everybody's still got their head in a box. Oh, but you know what's completely outside of everything in the world that you can watch if you have ESPN Plus? That's amazing. Is Bananaland.
That sounds like it could be a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, what's Banana?
It's about the Savannah Bananas minor league baseball team. It's a minor.
Shit.
It's the minor league baseball team that created their own rules, and it's an game of entertainment, more so than brass tacks baseball. So it's very cool. I started watching it. We started watching it with our older son. He's very, very into it because it's silly. It's like people pitch on stilts and throw behind their back and. They play. It's the Harlem Globetrotters of minor league baseball, basically. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So if you want some good old-fashioned, wholesome fun in your life, Bananaland, about how this dude built this thing up and what they're currently doing, which, by the way, it's already impossible to get tickets to this thing. It's going to be even more impossible, but unless this is the catapult, which they're hoping for, to where they go from minor league stadiums to major league stadiums, and then they do like a traveling, not a circus, but a traveling show, almost like an entertainment. Like they even reference like circus and wrestling, things of that nature. So they're going to try and build it in something like that, which would be pretty rad. Like go to Dodger Stadium, $15 a ticket, and watch this goofy game. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
I haven't seen it, but I thought, again, I was way off. I thought it was going to have something.
It's
to do
not
with
on
Banana
Skinamax, bro.
Boat. I said banana boats, not nothing like bananas. Like, what?
Banana Boat. Oh, those guys. All right. Listen, speaking of listening, you here? You there? You anywhere? There's been a list going around with the 50 worst rappers of all time. Now, this wasn't by like a media person, right? This is just like a fan created a list of 50 rappers they didn't like and put numbers next to their names in the order it was. And it's been going around the internet. I sent it to you, and number 1 is going to be on the playlist of the week because that's how we go. But what are your top 5 worst rappers ever? Like, just one you're like, nah.
I mean, the guy who's number 1, I was actually a fan of. So, but all my friends always used to say he was the worst rapper of all time. So, I guess it panned out.
This was just a fan. So, but who are your, like, I'll give you, like Bubba Sparks. Not a Bubba Sparks fan.
I'm not a Bubba Sparks fan. Even I'm not a fan of G Herbo.
G
So
Herbo.
he never raps on beat. Like, I don't know what's going on with G Herbo and why he raps that way, but like he's never on the beat. But I think he does it on purpose. But
Some
it's
avant-garde rapping.
You know who my third least favorite rapper is? I don't know if they're the worst, but my least favorite rapper is the dude who doesn't actually talk in words. What's his name?
I don't know.
I got bros in Atlanta. It's called in Atlanta. I don't know. Designer is his name. His name is Designer. If you're ever bored, go pull up the Designer interview, like TMZ interview. Watch it. He doesn't speak words. He's like, like he just it's the fucking weirdest shit ever. I'm telling you, the dude's a fucking nut. So we'll just watch it. When you pull it up and watch it, you're gonna text me like, "Yo, Mike, this dude's crazy."
I'm not a fan of Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon is definitely one of the worst rappers ever. He was gonna be on my list if I would have thought of him. But now that I say he'll be 4th on my list, and 5th on my list is like any of these basketball rapper dudes, Allen Iverson,
Ron
I think
Artest.
Kobe like tried to sing, Ron Artest.
What about
Just rap 'em
Shaq?
all up with Shaq, all in one bow, and just basketball rappers. You all stink, like all of you.
How do you feel about UFC fighters trying to rap? Like Tyron Woodley's like, I'm focusing on my rap career right now, and it's like, you keep losing fights, but still fight. Do you think there's a correlation there?
Bro, I never want to hear Tyron Woodley rap, bro.
Yeah, me neither.
I
Riff
think
Raff
Dame
is on
Lillard's
my
a pretty
list.
Dope rapper. So I'm gonna take Dame Lillard out of there. I actually like him, but
I haven't heard Dame.
Dame is a pretty good rapper. Playlist of the week. You can put Dame. He has enough songs to make a playlist.
All right, I'll put him on.
He actually got 2 CDs.
Riff Raff is on my list of haters, if that even counts.
Riff Raff.
Bow Wow.
Bow Wow was a bad rapper.
Even the Lil version. I remember the Lil version. I was alive
You
when
ain't fresh as I miss.
Lil came out, and I'm like, I gotta avoid my little brother hearing this shit because it's garbage.
Yo, Bow Wow was like popping though. Like,
Oh,
you couldn't-
100%. And then he got movie deals. He won't be like Mike. Everything was happening for that kid.
Be like Mike, lottery ticket. Yo, Bow Wow.
Lottery
man.
ticket. I did not see that. I saw 5 minutes of that piece of shit. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
thanks. I'd rather
Yeah,
hit my
was-
dick with a hammer than watch this.
That shit was funny, bro. Lottery ticket was like Soul Play funny. It was a trash movie, but it had some really funny parts.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. It was on one day, and I caught it like, 30 minutes in. And I'm like, oh, let me see if I would like this. So maybe it was just like the really, really bad part that was not even so bad it was funny.
No. I would never watch it again. Like, I probably
right.
wouldn't just like put it on. But
Yeah.
if I was watching it and it was playing, like, and I would watch it, like, it's some funny parts to the movie.
Got you.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
that's the same way I feel about Soul Plane. Like, I'll never just go pick up Soul Plane. Like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
But if it's on and I saw a couple of funny parts, like there are a couple of funny parts.
Yeah, you get sucked in. I see how
It's
that
like-
happens.
It's
a lot.
trash from the beginning with the whole premise. Like, who the fuck is paying you because your ass got sucked in the toilet?
How'd you feel about Car Wash?
Car Wash is a pretty funny movie.
I like
I've
it.
watched Car Wash quite a few times. 'Cause
Yeah.
Car Wash is pretty funny.
Well, I mean, with a cast like that, how do you not like? It's got to be
Production is
somewhat good.
trash. Production is trash. Though.
Well,
Like, the whole
all the,
story
yeah,
is
that's the
trash.
problem. Is it's like, you know, they're not getting the finances from the studios, so it's like, okay, do it with these minimal tools. Good luck. I don't know. And then to round out my shitbag list of rappers, Tekashi 6ix9ine, because he's a bitch. Fuck that guy.
Tekashi is a rat. And he's a bad rapper.
Yeah. Well, that's the exponent of douchiness on his bad rapper is that he's a rat. So you go to the top of the list as the biggest loser. It's Biggest Loser time. It's Daddy's favorite show. So this week, the number 1 ranked spot is going to be on the playlist. We're going with Silk the Shocker and the Vandals.
Hopefully the Vandals are really good. Because Silk the Shocker was bad back when we actually thought he was good. Imagine what he is sounding in your ears now. Like it might be good.
Well, see, the Vandals are pretty good, but there's somebody that I've wanted to put on a playlist for a long time, but they don't really jive with anybody because they're kind of do a different thing. So I'm like, oh, perfect. Let me put them in here. Maybe it'll salvage some of this. It's a good bridge. So we'll see. It's a bit of a mix up, but hey, you like what you like, right, buddy?
There you go, my friend.
Sometimes it's worth eating ice cream to have diarrhea.
If you say so.
I mean, isn't that what you do?
Yeah, I don't really eat ice cream though.
But sometimes you eat something knowing that, like, I can't go anywhere for an hour.
Yeah. Or I just take all my utensils with me and be willing to shit wherever I'm at.
Well, on that note, in case we're shitting randomly around the world, follow us. You can follow us on Instagram. Mike is at BlackIrish213. I am at Brendallis7. We are at Black Irish Pod. Do us a favor, click, like, share, comment. I don't care. Get involved with us. We'll talk some shit. Me usually. If I comment on your stuff and it's not nice, I'm probably high and fucking around, and know that I'm laughing my ass off when I do it.
Yeah.
So if it hurts your feelings, I don't care because it makes me happy. But that's
go.
what this is all about, having fun and fucking around. So, do us a favor, subscribe or click, or just do something with a click. Ratings are also awesome. Tell us what you like about the show. It's good to
Some of
know.
you don't like, so we can get rid of it.
Yeah, but don't do that on the ratings part. Do that in the comments section. The ratings, we want the good stuff, all right? Oh, all right. Kevin Durant with Top Shot. Who gives a shit? Great. On that note, Mike, I'm going to see you. I'm so excited.
are.
I'm going to go see you. I'm going to go visit the D.C. area. Anybody in the D.C. area that hears this in the proper amount of time, we're at the end of the episode anyway. It doesn't matter. Hit me up on Instagram. I want to get to any stand-up mics I can, so hit me up. Give me some options. Let's see what's up. So on that note, I love you, dude. Can't wait to see you. Be good to each other.
Me too, man.
And take a reset if you need it. All right? Love y'all. Later.